Hello and welcome to the Pirates Show here on DK Sports Radio. I'm Dejan Kovacevic, joined here in our Highmark Stadium studios by Lance Lysowski.
Can't believe that baseball is a week away.
Say it with some joy, man.
No, I can't. Honestly, I can't wait. I mean, you see, I tweeted something just that, it all begins in 1 week. Matt Sunday and I are heading down to Bradenton for, this first run of coverage here. And, of course, all my mentions on Twitter are GIFs and all sorts of things mocking the fact that baseball season is here for the Pirates. But I'm genuinely excited. It's going to be, so many storylines to watch this season. Young players, probably going to be a lot of losses. But at the same token, there's a lot of stories that are going to be told here in the next few months.
There's no shortage of that.
Yeah.
And I think there's also no shortage of appreciation. I speak only for myself here. I heard for many years we're sorry you're stuck covering the Pirates and this and that, and what's it like to be around Bob Nutting, and do you want to da-da-da-da-da-da. You're covering baseball.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball for a living. Never mind the unrivaled setting of Bradenton, Florida, meaning the training complexes, the feel of being out there at 7:30 in the morning when those guys are pounding their gloves for the first time, taking the field. The grass is still wet from the morning dew, and the sun is coming up behind the palm trees. Believe me, you're not sitting there thinking, gee whiz, sure am feeling bad for myself and having to cover this team that might lose 90 games.
Yeah, and if you care about whether or not the team you cover wins or loses, you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business. I'm sorry. It's about doing the job and investing in it and doing it the right way.
Well, this is our business, Lysowski, and we're going to talk about, to start with here, the first of three hot topics heading into this opening week of spring training. And number one on our list are the new guys, because all six of them will be in the fold, meaning the players acquired, of course, in the Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Cole trades. And they come in, like it or not, marked.
Yeah.
You're always that guy. Especially the two that are coming for Kutch, who's traded for a superstar. Let's be honest here. Everyone can still name Robinson Diaz, right?
Yeah. No, those names go down in history when you go ahead and you name trades such as this one. And so 4 of the 6 are on the 40-man roster. The other 2, Jason Martin and Brian Reynolds, are going to be their non-roster invitees.
Martin, of course, is an outfielder.
Both outfielders, Reynolds and Martin. Mm-hmm. Reynolds is the higher-ranked prospect of the two. But 4 of the 6 are going to be on the Major League roster, and they're going to have prominent roles on this team. You got Kyle Crick, the reliever acquired from the Giants in the Andrew McCutchen trade. And then when it comes to the Garrett Cole trade, you have Michael Feliz, the reliever. You have Joe Musgrove, who's going to be put back in the rotation despite the fact he struggled there last year for the Astros. Colin Moran, the third baseman. And
you think all 4 are coming north?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a clear plan here from Neil Huntington. From everything he said, that Musgrove's going to be in the rotation. Feliz is definitely going to be in the bullpen. And Moran, unless he tanks, and I bet Neil Huntington is just praying that he doesn't.
You would think so.
Moran is going to be the starting third baseman.
Yeah, it's either him or David Freese. And again, with all due respect to David Freese, and I've got a lot of it, if you're taking the field with David Freese in third base, Sean Rodriguez in left,
Adam Frazier possibly at second,
and you're just but you have no direction.
No, and that's the thing. If you trade Josh Harrison, there's no direction as it is. But if Harrison is gone, this group is in complete disarray, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the direction is lost.
Yeah, it's completely
because
lost.
Now you got Max Moroff at second base, for crying out loud.
Right now they're going to try to piece together a platoon in left field. That's bad as it is. But if Moran doesn't work out, you got David Freese at third base, and you've got possibly Max Moroff at second base. What are you doing? Because you're not rebuilding. You're just there.
At least from the standpoint of these 4 guys taking up 4 spots on the 25-man, there's at least possibly the beginning of a direction. But they come in, and I think one of the first things that the coaching staff and more than anybody, Clint Hurdle, are going to want to see from them is that they're not affected by being the trade guys, because they know people like me and you are going to walk up to them and ask them about it. They know that teammates in some form or other are going to bring it up. They're not going to wag a finger at them, but they're going to be like, hey, kid, don't worry about being that guy that came here for the living legend or anything. And the kid's going, you know what? I wasn't thinking about it until you brought it up.
And there's a reason none of these guys have been available to reporters through a conference call. leading up to spring training.
There's the bitter reporter Lance coming out here. Well, you'll have enough of those guys to interview in a week. When we come back, we're going to hit topic number 2. Hot topic number 2 for Pirates spring training. You're listening to the Pirates Show here on DK Sports Radio.
Injured in an accident? Need assistance in preserving your business's interests? Let the attorneys at Bassey, Vreeland & Associates protect your legal rights. For over 65 years, Bassey, Vreeland & Associates has been representing the citizens and businesses of southwestern Pennsylvania. With offices strategically located in Washington and Charleroi, Bassey, Vreeland & Associates can deliver results for you throughout the Pittsburgh area. Visit www.bmvlaw.com or call 724-228-7000 to see how Bassey, Vreeland & Associates can meet your legal needs. Bassey, Vreeland & Associates. We fight, we care, we win.
It's time to cash in on non-stop sports action with MyBookie.ag. They have in-game live betting on nearly every sporting event, plus MyBookie.ag will match your deposit with a bonus up to 100%. With decades of expertise and no-hassle payouts, you'll experience the greatest customer service in the business, guaranteed. Use promo code DKRadio to activate your bonus of up to 100%. Call 844-900-BETS or visit mybookie.ag to open an account. Sign up today.
Miller Lite is the original light beer, and we'll always brew it to have more taste, with only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. Because we believe that if you compromise on taste, you can taste the compromise. Miller Lite. Hold true.
Great beer, great responsibility. 2018 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Average analysis, 12 fluid ounces. Less than 1 gram protein, 0 grams fat.
What I want from my public accounting firm is big ideas.
But I don't want to lose the personal attention.
My company needs global capabilities.
From a firm with local ownership.
And I want to work with industry experts.
Who take the time to understand my unique challenges. And that's what sets Schneider Downs apart. Expertise for the most complex business issues, with the service you need every day. To learn how our big thinking with a personal focus can help your company, visit schneiderdowns.com.
If you're one of the thousands of Western Pennsylvanians who love to get outdoors, then you need to check out this amazing new website, stepoutside.org. Hi, I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Sports Radio. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. I know about the outdoor life that's available to all of us in Western Pennsylvania. Learn where, when, and how you can go camping, hiking, hunting, take part in power sports, shooting sports, water sports in your local community, across our region, across the country at stepoutside.org.
Hot topic number 2 for the opening of Pirates spring training. You're listening to the Pirates Show here on DK Sports Radio. I'm Dejan Kovacevic, joined at our Highmark Stadium studios by Lance Lysowski. Hot topic number 1 is that the Pirates will have 6 guys coming into camp having to replace Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Cole. Not an easy chore. But number 2, Lance, who's playing left field?
Well, that's a good question. It appears that Daniel Nava, 34-year-old veteran, was at it on a minor league deal.
If you could only see my face right
now. No, and a guy who's excelled in a platoon situation but hasn't really done much of anything since 2013 when he won a World Series with the Red Sox. It's going to be Adam Frazier. I would be stunned if it went any other way. His splits were pretty impressive, and the fact that he did excel against left-handers, but despite being a left-hander himself, he was actually surprisingly strong defensively in the outfield compared to in the infield, which is what he was pretty much trained to do.
There's some bad optics with Frazier in the outfield.
It is.
Occasionally he'll do something where you just go, ooh, but making the egregious error is a lot better than not being able to consistently get to the balls you should be able to get to and make those plays.
Exactly. He has a type of bat that could play well at the top of the order if it has to.
He
left
has
field,
like a Nate McLeod kind of look
at
the plate, meaning the good early,
the good
version of Nathan. Yeah, and he looks at times like, yeah, absolutely, he's a main piece, but then there's other times where he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And left field's not an easy position to play at PNC Park, as we saw with Gregory Polanco and every other guy that got trotted out there last season for the Pirates with Starling Marte out. Now, the fact here is that if Frazier doesn't work out, or maybe Frazier's needed at second base, what do the Pirates do? You got Jordan Luplow, who barely even played at AAA so far in his career, and let's face it, hasn't played much in the major leagues. The experience isn't there. Yeah, there's potential, but he's a fourth outfielder.
Yeah,
he's not a starter.
And again, this is where we come back to the same subject, which is identity. What are you doing? If you're looking at, let's just say hypothetically here, a platoon with Sean Rodriguez and what was the guy's name again?
Daniel Nava.
Daniel Nava. If you put these guys together in some kind of platoon, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
You're holding.
Make up your mind.
You're plugging the spot until Austin Meadows is ready, but there's no guarantee that Austin Meadows is ever going to be ready.
He couldn't even stay on the field last summer.
He hasn't shown anything in the past year and a half that makes you think that, wow, this guy can replace Andrew McCutchen. That storyline is long gone, as you've seen with his drop in prospect rankings and just the lack of production when he was healthy at AAA. So you're gambling on Brian Reynolds and Jason Martin, the two outfielders you just traded for, to possibly break through and be ready.
One of them.
One of them. I mean, you're throwing stuff at the wall, hoping something sticks.
Well, but that's what all of this feels like now, Lance. When you go and you get that, I'm not going to be one of those people who just sees somebody who the Pirates signed and go, "Hey, World Series!" But I look at this, and the whole thing feels like throwing stuff against the wall. There's no plan.
You're not rebuilding, and you're not exactly trying to win. So what are you doing? You can use the term retool all you want, but that doesn't mean that it's true.
Anyway? Who thought that retool was some kind of replacement? Because rebuild became poison.
Exactly. When you think rebuild, that's associated with, I guess, what the Marlins are doing by trading their entire outfield. But the thing about the Pirates, though, particularly under Neil Huntington's regime, let's just talk about that right now, is that he doesn't go all in one way or the other. He's not going to go all in to try to win a World Series. And that's not just on him, it's on ownership too. And they're not going to go all in and try to rebuild because they just think, it's not about public perception. It's just the way that they're running the thing. And it just doesn't make any sense at this point.
No, because all of their beliefs are rooted in this endless cycle because they believe that playoffs are luck. They believe that all they have to do is basically sneak in and get lucky like the Cubs did or like the Astros did.
And it seemed like they're so focused right now on developing their own guys and playing their own guys for better or for worse, whether it be Max Moroff or, hey, even Adam Frazier when he looks overwhelmed defensively in different spots. I just don't know what they're trying to do.
I wouldn't mind they played their own guys if they had guys.
Well, exactly.
But
they're trying to force a situation by trying to put Jordan Luplow and Max Moroff in situations where they're just overwhelmed, and they should be in AAA, let's face it.
There's no question they were forcing that last summer in my mind to try to prove a point that runs counter to all the evidence that they're drafting and developing has been terrible.
And you're trying to speed up a player's development by pushing them to the major leagues, which runs contradictory to everything this front office has said in previous years. When it comes to Gregory Polanco's AAA at-bats, or even Josh Bell when he first came up, we don't know if he's ready yet. Look at the AAA at-bats compared to what Gregory Polanco had. I don't know what they're doing anymore.
Well, they don't have a left fielder. So that would be hot topic number 2. When we come back, hot topic number 3. Not coincidentally. You're listening to The Pirate Show on DK Sports Radio.
In Pittsburgh, we bleed black and gold and love our city. Born in Pittsburgh and now celebrating 130 years in business, Henny Jewelers is proud to be your premier jewelry store. Whether it's choosing that watch you've always wanted or you're searching for the ring that was made for her, trust Henny Jewelers. Visit our store on Walnut Street in Shadyside to see our extensive inventory of designer engagement rings, watches, and one-of-a-kind jewelry. For more, go to hennyjewelers.com and follow on social.
Embarrassed by that stained carpet in your office? Tired of looking at your dull, dirty floor? My Floor Needs is here to fix that. With years of experience and 24/7 service, My Floor Needs offers stripping and waxing, carpet, tile, grout, and concrete cleaning, as well as polishing and buffing services. Call 888-67-MY-FLOOR or email info@myfloorneeds.com for a free estimate and get your floors looking like new again. Whatever your floor needs, call 888-67-MY-FLOOR.
Does your company ever miss its sales goals or struggle getting new business?
Is it tough to hire or to give reps the right tools?
Hi, I'm Dan, and I started Engaged Prospect right here in Pittsburgh to help companies like yours.
And I'm Sam. We're helping companies hit sales goals and grow their businesses.
Think of us as your inside sales team.
Our clients are experts in their fields. We're experts in inside sales.
Give us a call today at 412-715-5151.
Or visit us online at engagedprospect.com/DK.
It's been 50 years since the Summer of Love, but if you're not performing as well as you'd like, check out endedforless.com. I'm Eric Cushy of Curtis Pharmacy. Don't pay premium prices for the little blue pill. So Denafil, the same active ingredient as in Viagra, costs 80% less. endedforless.com. All we need is your physician's name. We do the rest. Free shipping, too. endedforless.com. Curtis Pharmacy, Western PA's Better Way Pharmacy. curtispharmacy.com.
We've covered two hot topics related to the Pirates' coming spring training here on DK Sports Radio. The first of those was the 6 players who will be coming into camp as a result of the big trades involving Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Cole. The second one,
of course, was the vacancy in left field created by the trade of Andrew McCutchen.
And the third one will be, this was your idea. It's a little bit off the beaten path.
I think it's something that's overlooked this offseason is behind the plate. Francisco Cervelli is going to be the highest paid player on the roster this coming season.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. But yeah, $10.5 million in 2018. Injuries the past 2 seasons slow him. The offensive production is down, and it, of course, affected his pitch framing in terms of holding the glove up after he broke that hamate bone in his hand.
Yep.
And
no question.
The question is how do they handle him? He missed so much time last year. And Elias Diaz is going to finally get his chance to be on the 25, to be in the Major League roster.
Right, he's not blocked by Chris Stewart anymore.
No longer. And Claire Hurdle was so impressed. He spoke about it again and again in September when Cervelli was out for the rest of the season. They kept playing Diaz. They wanted him to get experience working with the rotation, working with the bullpen, communicating with pitchers, and working behind the plate because that was the part of his game that really took so much time to develop. And finally, they think that he's ready to take on that bigger role. But how big a role is that going to be?
Well,
That's the question.
I think that is the big question between the two of those guys. My feeling initially is that Cervelli is going to get every opportunity to be the quote-unquote everyday catcher. He has that mentality. He has that passion. We all see it. He also has that frustration when he gets hurt. His injuries, in some cases, are just unfortunate incidents, and in other cases, it's because he has some of those weird straddles in the way he lines up behind the plate for certain pitches. You've seen it, the right leg jutting way out into the opponent's dugout. It's unusual, and the foul tip comes back and it hits him there, and you're going, oh, geez, no. I mean, he's also been hit in the head like a lot of catchers have, but I know he's got the will and the energy and everything else to want to be that guy.
It killed him not to be on the field.
It really did.
And he was limited to 81 games last year. And you saw it, him walking through the clubhouse, talking to him during his rehab, just so much frustration there. What I think is that he's going to be the everyday catcher. It would shock me if anything of that sort changed just because of the asset that he has behind the plate working with the staff. But I think he might benefit from, I don't want to say a platoon because that's a little strong. I think that he's going to get a few more days off than he did 2 or 3 years ago.
I think that's reasonable.
I think that's for the best.
And I think you're going to see Clint Hurdle. I wouldn't be surprised if he says something like that very early in spring training. He says, look, we understand the asset that we have in Francisco Cervelli when he's healthy, which they do. He's been really, really good.
Yes.
He really shouldn't be defined by his injuries. But I'll tell you this, too. Late in the season, you made a really good point about Elias Diaz and the praise that he was getting from the coaching staff. These pitchers have worked with Diaz, for the most part, more than they have with Cervelli, because you're talking about Trevor Williams, you're talking about Chad Kuhl, Jamison Taillon, guys that came up through the minors with him, and they trust him a lot.
Explicitly,
and
yes.
Diaz is not, how do I put this? He's not the non-assertive type. He's not the passive type. He will call the game. When somebody hits a home run off one of his pitchers, they hit it off of him. Those are the kind of catchers you like, because they take ownership of the entire battery situation. Pitchers like that because it takes the heat off of them. Now they don't have to think as much on the mound. So Diaz, I felt like he really grew up in that regard last season. But you know what else, Lance? He also showed people he could hit a little bit too. And remember, that was the knock against him coming up.
And they saw flashes that made Clint Hurdle, optimistic. There's a lot more in there when it comes to him, as a hitting catcher. In New York, he had one really strong series where he hit well. I just thought it was, it's funny on the beat. I only covered about 35 games last year, but I covered when Diaz made his first appearance with the Pirates in early May. Showed some really nice things offensively at the plate in Cincinnati. Clint Hurdle was asked about it in typical Clint fashion. He just downplays. This kid, he talked about how he's not ready behind the plate, working with the pitching staff. And then you look at it in September, just the communication between Diaz, during the game, just helping those pitchers, along the way. I think that he's 26 years old, 27 years old. He's getting to the point where now is the time. And I think learning under a guy like Francisco Cervelli, this is a very good situation for the Pirates.
Yeah, I agree. I'm been a little bit surprised at some of the dismay or the concern about the catching position. I think the Pirates are actually in a pretty good spot there, except for one thing, Lance. That would be as if they trade Francisco Cervelli, because he's what again?
He's expensive in their mind.
Okay. Just checking. That's kind of how that tends to work with this team. For Lance Lysowski, I'm Dejan Kovacevic. This has been the Pirates Show, and you're listening to DK Sports Radio.